It's Christmas! Just remember that the back door's open. It's Christmas, and it's the Luke and Pete Show. I'm joined by Mr. Lukey Moore. Many festive returns, Lukey.
Thank you. Feliz Navidad, and you are excellent at that noddy holder.
Yeah,
you're the best. You're the person I know who's best at the noddy holder.
Well, I launched into it and then remembered that, as I said, the back door of the cabin is wide open.
Yeah, but it is Christmas, so people can't complain. It's not like you're doing that in July, is it?
It's not like the bloke who used to live next door to me in Emont Gardens in Hartlepool, who used to sing "I'm Every Woman" with 15 key changes at 3 a.m.
Yeah, I mean that's Pete Donaldson energy right there.
Yeah, I mean that's where I'll get to. I'm sure I'll become the man I enjoyed. I enjoyed so much back in the day.
Once the missus has finally had enough, that'll be.
I'm every woman. I'm just absolutely doing that. I am absolutely.
You'll be the next. You'll be the next Lawrence.
Next. Well, he was kind of in that kind of I think Gerald his name was, not to dox him or anything, but he used to live at next door.
I thought he was called Lawrence.
No. I mean the bloke who used to sing "I'm Every Woman."
Sorry.
So he was kind of part of like Hartlepool. He used to hang out with the mayor a lot. Who he was an accountant, I think, and he used to hang out with the mayor, and he was a big Pools fan, and the mayor became the mayor because he was Hangus the monkey, the Hartlepool United mascot who would dress like a monkey.
One of the best British things, that.
Yeah, I think Hartlepool's got a lot of that, and I think that's what makes a town. You can rip the art out of a town, and you can replace everything with vape shops and nail salons. But at the end of the day, if you've got people like Gerald, and you've got people like the Monkey Mayor, and you've got Lawrence, you've got heart, baby. You've got heart.
Yeah, you have.
So what I think I should do as an older man, offer my services as some kind of like hired gun, like some kind of samurai. Sort of saying, I will be your bit of local colour, your street hero, your weirdo on the street, just doing weird stuff, eating a shoe.
Without being too nerdy, if you're a samurai, though, you need a master, right? Who's your master going to be? You could be a Ronin. I think you'd be better off as a Ronin, just roaming around.
But having no master.
Exactly.
Right. Remember the woman out of Most Haunted? Used to do breakfast kids television.
Yvette Fielding?
Yvette Fielding. Her husband, I'm fairly certain he reckoned that he was the last samurai. He said that he was like the last non-Japanese samurai in Japan. A claim that has never been proven by him or anyone else. But I think he said it in an interview once.
Carl Beatty, his name is.
Carl Beatty said it in an interview once and then spent the rest of the time sort of denying it. I love people who say something mad and then just have to spend the rest of their time pretending it never happened. Sorry, are you the guy who said he was like the last non-Japanese samurai? Yeah.
This is great. Let me read this. I've just found a little paragraph on his Wikipedia. I didn't know anything about this. What a great way to ring in Christmas.
What a great way to ring in Christmas. Happy Christmas,
in 2004, Carl Beatty was the subject of media attention when it was claimed he was the only living samurai outside of Japan. Something he denied as one of only 8 foreigners to have ever been awarded the title. So the samurai class was officially abolished in 1868, but Beatty claimed the title lives on in him via his Japanese instructor Otsu Maeda.
Right, interesting. Like it's Japanese.
You done what you always do
obsessives.
Here. I had something lined up to say, and that's just blown it right out of my brain.
I would say that like Japanese obsessives are they are the weirdos, aren't they? Really, they really are. They're an interesting lot, aren't they? And I include myself in it. But they always go one step too far, don't they? They're like Steven Seagal. Do you know what I mean? Like he thinks he's all that, isn't he? But they're Japanese obsessives.
Is he Japan or is he like? I thought he was Korea.
No. He was he had a dojo, I think, in Japan. He's quite well respected in a very specific and unusable martial
Wing
art
Chun,
form.
isn't it? Wing Chun.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, it's the one where you fling people around and use.
That's all staged, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, good God, some of the clips of him in Russia. Where's he now? Is Dagestan or something? He's somewhere weird where he's like the king. He's like the mayor or something. More mayor.
He claims to be a big friend of Putin, and
he is good friends with Putin, isn't he? That's where he does all of his films now.
But it's a very one-sided relationship. I'm fairly clear on what Vladimir Putin's getting out of that, like an 80s American action hero as a useful idiot.
He needs an update. Who would he be able to sort of... James Woods, I reckon he could probably get over.
Oh, anyone can flip Woods.
He's Magger. Any Magger he could break off and get him. Because he needs an updated star. Seagal's like an old... Could he get someone like... I was going to say Bruce Willis. That's
probably get Sidney Sweeney based on what I've read.
Yeah, you can bring him over. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think of like an action star of the 90s who was bigger than Seagal, who may need the money. I think they'd probably...
Van Damme?
I think he's got enough cash. He's got enough cash, and he's probably from the part of the world that probably... knows what Putin's about. Maybe, I don't know. I think you need an American guy.
Van Damme is obviously... Van Damme was born in Belgium, right? But he was in the US pretty early on, no?
Yeah. I just think with Europeans, they're a bit too smart to Putin stuff. I reckon you need someone who's like... You need one of those fellas who moved to... Remember those families, those kind of like weird religious... religious hardcore, like Christians who moved to Russia, moved to Moscow to escape the woke.
They call themselves cultural. What do they call themselves?
Cultural nomads or something. Cultural.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And
there was a
they
guy,
moved
wasn't
there, and they got given a shitty apartment.
No, I'll tell you what happened straight away. They moved there, and then within about 2 months, the two oldest kids in the family moved back away straight away.
Oh yeah. And the dad's like. There's one bloke who moved over there, and he thought, because he did a bit of welding, he was like, I'll do the welding for the war. Straight to the front line, not having a good time at all.
Was it?
Good God.
Well, that's what Carl Beatty's do. He's the only living samurai outside Japan. They could do with him.
They could do with him, exactly. Especially with their argument with China at the moment. They could do with a BT, for crying out loud. That's what I say. Yeah.
Who couldn't do with a BT?
Who could do with a beating?
I know what people. Yeah, I know what people listening are thinking here. This is just the same as a normal episode.
Yeah,
I did have some Christmas stuff in my mind,
right?
But you've blown it to bits as usual.
This is what Christmas is all about.
What happens is this is a very much like arguing or debating topics with some of my family members on Christmas Day at a certain time of the day.
After a few eggnogs, yeah.
But what happens is either they get blown out of my head and I can't think of them anymore, or I write them down in advance, but it becomes impossible to bring them in. You there.
Everyone's got
to make the link.
Everyone's got a plan until they get peated in the face, as they say.
Yeah, totally. Speaking of that,
are we going to talk about the boxing?
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah, I think we should. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
I think it's...
Yeah, did you watch it back on Netflix the next morning?
I didn't. I watched it on YouTube, probably illegally. Some loser uploaded it.
It's actually one of the things I would say to credit Netflix is that it was very easy to get it on the old laptop in the morning.
Right, yeah,
two clicks, because Netflix's user interface is so easy.
For live sports and stuff, it is brilliant. It really is.
And it doesn't fall over, right? Which is kind of interesting.
No, yeah. That.
Talk to me about the size of the servers we're talking about.
Well, it's probably as big as the moon. I imagine they're spending probably about as much money as Microsoft are on their AI integration. But so it's Anthony Joshua versus what's his bloody name? Beardy
Jake Paul.
Now he is so it's ostensibly an exhibition match. Joshua's two stone.
Well, you do your assumptions, and I'll tell you what I think.
So Joshua's obviously 2 stone bigger than him, and I don't know boxing. Is that allowed? Usually, that doesn't seem like doesn't seem like something that's usually allowed. So
with the rules of boxing, right? It's best in terms of the administration of it. It's best to see them as very loose guidelines. Because what happens is, as the money goes up, the flexibility also goes up. Yeah.
So, I think we all thought, or I certainly thought, it was going to be one of those silly, silly matches where they don't really sort of do, they don't really sort of do anything. It's just a lovely bit of fun. Everyone makes a load of money, and people watch it on the telly. But I think the problem with Joshua, he's still quite good at it, and obviously he's much bigger and better, and he's a pro boxer, and the other one isn't really.
Yeah.
And so he still has to keep the pretense of it being a competitive boxing match. So For Joshua, people criticise wrestling for being, a joke and stuff, but good God, Joshua having to make those micro calculations as every punch and every swing and when his opponent's running around the ring trying to avoid him.
Which is literally happening, right?
Right. So
it was like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
So Joshua's having to, when he's punching him, have to make the calculations. Like, does this look real? This opponent is leaving his chin, etc., face wide open for shots that I simply must make it look like I am trying to attempt, because otherwise this is going to look stupid. I still have the remnants of a career as an older boxer, and I would like to continue doing it. And so the back end of it seemed to be, I got to put this on a bed because this is just stupid. He's just been too stupid. So, I've got to punch him really hard. I think.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess your perspective as a non-boxing fan is really interesting to me, because like my take on it is multifaceted, I guess, and I'll just try and get through it as quick as I can so people don't get bored. But like, so Anthony Joshua needed a tune-up fight. He's been out of the ring for a while.
Right.
He's looking towards fighting Tyson Fury next year, which will be a big fight in the UK. I mean, both those fighters are on the downward spiral, but it's still a big draw, right? It's basically the two, biggest British heavyweights of the last however many years, even though Josh was really on the dwindle. And I don't think Joshua was a top class heavyweight now, based on what I've seen of his last few fights, but he's still several magnitudes of quality above Jake Paul, right? And I'll come on to Jake Paul in a minute. And Joshua did come in quite a lot lighter than he has done in earlier fights,
right?
I think for contractual reasons, but there's no upper limit on the heavyweight division, so you can come in as big as you want, really. But I think the contract stipulated that he had to be under a certain weight for this, and he signed that contract, and obviously he was getting paid, I think, 60 million. So his rationale would have just been, I've got to have a tune-up fight anyway. This is a far more easier tune-up fight than I would have had, and I'm getting paid probably 100 times the money, right? So it's a no-brainer for him. Now, Jake Paul is essentially a fairly poor novice cruiserweight. Now, what I mean by that, so what a lot of people say is Jake Paul isn't a boxer at all. He can't fight at all. And although I think there's an element of truth in that, I do think he has kind of the makings, if he wants to be, of like an area level cruiser, right? And there's no shame in that. I mean, fucking boxing is hard. You've got to be good. It's kind of, I'll tell you what would be helpful in terms of a comparison is you've always said to me that Logan Paul has become like quite a good wrestler, but he's obviously had to work really hard at doing that. You can't just be a wrestler. I mean, he's in great shape. He takes on these high risks. He dedicates himself to it. I don't think anyone is saying that Jake Paul hasn't kind of dedicated himself to training and all that kind of stuff. But it's almost like you've got to factor in that.
It's fucking hard to be really good.
And Joshua is several times bigger, is an Olympic champion, is a 2-time world heavyweight champion, and there are just so many levels to this game that it becomes quite obvious when they get put in the ring together. Now, with the fight itself, it's very hard for anyone to look good in a 2-person fight when the other person doesn't want to fight, right? And you could, I mean, if you've got stamina and a little bit of athletic ability and a really big ring, which is what Jake Paul insisted on, and you just basically go on your knees as soon as he comes near you.
Little hidey holes. I want a little mouse hole for me to hide in for a bit.
Yeah, you can drag that out for 5 or 6 rounds, right?
Yeah.
But and that's what happened.
Right.
But then you're right to say I think that AJ wasn't throwing punches properly. I think the punch that broke Jake Paul's jaw was an arm punch, personally. Now, an arm punch is like, for those people who don't follow boxing, is basically like proper boxers punch from the feet, really. So it's almost worth thinking of it like a golf swing. It starts out from the bottom of the legs all the way up through the torso, and the power comes in the fist through the shoulder, and they punch properly. So that's when you see an MMA fighter fighting a boxer in a boxing match, like Conor McGregor fighting Floyd Mayweather. They just can't really punch properly because they have to do so many different fight disciplines. They can't spend the time learning that dedication to punching properly. Anthony Joshua basically broke Jake Paul's jaw in 2 places with an arm punch. I think if he had done it with a proper heavyweight boxer's punch, I honestly think he would have killed him. Because the way that Jake Paul takes that shot is the way that a non-boxer takes a shot, right? It kind of he hangs his chin out there. He doesn't know how to kind of limit it or mitigate it.
Yeah.
And you see Jake Paul just go, wow, like that, right?
I just got punched.
And for those of us out there, and I include myself in this number, who would quite like to see Jake Paul's jaw broken in 2 places, it was incredibly satisfying.
It was a treat.
But I think that's the base instinct I had. But the overall thought, as a try and be a reasonably thoughtful person, is that it's fucking dangerous. It shouldn't have happened. Jake Paul should be delighted to have got out of there with a broken jaw, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I think he deserves a modicum of respect for the bravery sprinkled with a soupçon of stupidity for even doing it, because it was pretty fucking frightening to do that. I mean, Anthony Joshua's no joke. He's not a joke. No. He's a proper fighter.
And Joshua, I guess it's a massive risk for him. It's a $50 million risk for him as well, because he was
never ever in a million not going to win.
No, like, but no. I mean, like a risk, as in if you do kill Jake Paul, it's
yeah. But Joshua did address that in the press conference before the fight, Pete.
Right.
He said, because Jake Paul tried to use that as a kind of bargaining chip, saying, "Oh yeah, you said you wouldn't care if you killed me," and Anthony Joshua was like, "Well, I'm a boxer. I'm licensed to win a boxing match, and if someone dies, I understand that's part and parcel of the sport, right?" And that's that. I mean, there's not really much else I can say.
Yeah.
I don't think Joshua always carries himself with amazing dignity, and I don't think he's, God's gift or whatever. But he is a serious fighter. Yeah. He's obviously going to take a fight for $60 million that he knows he can win with pretty easy work. And I guess it just is what it is on that front. But I don't think it was conclusive enough to have seen the end of Jake Paul, unless he just gets told he can't box anymore because his jaw's in about 1 million pieces, which I wouldn't wish on anyone. That seems horrible. But honestly, that's the best outcome he probably could have hoped for.
Yeah.
Like, and to be fair, honestly, we've seen Anthony Joshua time and time again, and you would have seen this as well, even as not really a boxing fan. Anthony Joshua is able to put fighters to sleep. He's got a lot of fucking power in that right hand, right? If he wanted to put Jake Paul to sleep, there's no way Jake Paul's going out of there conscious.
Yeah.
So that tells you its own story. If Joshua hits you on the button and you hang your jaw out like that and you don't mitigate the shot, you're going to sleep. There's nothing special about Jake Paul not going to sleep, other than the fact that Joshua just threw a fucking arm at it. Yeah. That's it.
But I think I think you talk about like the big ring that Jake Paul sort of insisted on. Why don't we have a little game where we hire out a TV show, maybe? Like we hire out it's like the Running Man, but just in a warehouse. We hire out a 3-level warehouse, and a heavyweight boxer has to find and punch somebody in the face. But that person is much smaller, and he can run probably a bit faster than the heavyweight boxer.
Yeah,
and run all over the gaff as well.
Presented by Noel Edmonds. My daughter has 3 Noel Edmonds coasters that somebody got me for a Secret Santa, and she is obsessed with them. She's just obsessed with these they're basically 3 pictures of Noel Edmonds from the 70s, from the 90s, and from now. I don't know why she loves them so much, but that's what I've got to live with right now. My daughter loves pictures of Noel Edmonds. And which is your favourite? Which is your favourite of the Edmonds era?
I like the Deal or No Deal on the phone picture that one of them contains. So,
great clip of Noel not realising there was a disabled chap in a photo.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, very, very.
He styled it out though, Noel, didn't he?
He did. Yeah. Oh dear.
He styled it out. I before we go to the break, I just want to make it absolutely clear that we're recording this a couple of days before Christmas, because we've got families, we can't really be recording on Christmas Day. I can't, certainly, because the family home, or my mum and dad's home, is a madhouse with people just running around everywhere. So I'm actually on an industrial estate at the moment, and I'll tell you more about that after the break.
Okay.
Bit of waste ground in an industrial estate. Not really, no, just an industrial unit. But Peter, I'm going to give you 3 times of day.
Right.
And I want you to kind of imagine, kind of fast forward in your mind, what you'll be doing on Christmas Day if people are listening to this. Because I think they'd like an understanding of what you'd be doing at the time they're listening on Christmas Day, right? Because this show will come out bang at the crack of a sparrow's fart on Christmas morning, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be there for people.
Yeah.
And we should also remember, a lot of people don't like their families. A lot of people are estranged from their families. A lot of people like spending Christmas on their own. So they might be listening.
Yeah.
So if someone is listening at 9 a.m, on Christmas Day, what are you doing?
Well, it's probably going to be quite similar to what I'm doing right now, in that we're recording around about, your 9-10 o'clock in the morning, and I late at night last night, 11, I got a bit peckish and I ate an entire pack of prawns.
Okay.
And I made myself a little Marie Rose dressing.
Were they for Christmas?
They were for Christmas. I will have to replace them. But luckily, my partner's not very well, so that means my nieces aren't coming for Christmas Day. They're coming a week later.
Okay. So you're not doing the big hosting thing now. So they're not going to get the air fryer.
No, well, I mean, there's going to be two. There's going to be Sarah's mum and dad and us sort of there. So that'll make things a little bit easier. But I'm a little bit gutted about the kids. But one of the kids has just been in and out of hospital with terrible asthma, so I think they're just trying to avoid. They're having like a COVID era Christmas, really. They're trying to avoid the possibility of her getting ill, which I completely understand. But so there'll be fewer. There's more food to go around. That's what I'm saying. So I'm a bit worried that I'm going to overindulge in Christmas Eve, and I'm going to feel like
9 o'clock in the morning. You'll probably
consider doing
puking.
consider doing a little steak.
I think when I just announced and I was going to play this little mini game with you, I think most of our listeners would have essentially accepted that at some point there would have been a vomit element to it.
A bit of a sick.
So what about 11:15 a.m?
11:15 a.m. I think Christmas walks are pretty. I think we'll probably go down to the beach. Have a little Christmas beach walk.
It's going to be nice, apparently.
It's going to be nice. Oh, lovely.
Apparently.
Oh, smashing. That's absolutely cracking. Because I can take, like we always sort of say, I can take the old December weather as long as it's like blue skies,
crisp.
Yeah,
crisp.
I don't mind it being crisp. I don't mind it being cold. It's just the miserable old grey days we've been having recently.
And finally, for now, let's have a good one. 9:40 p.m.
Oh, I've been asleep for 40 minutes, Luke.
Eggnog in your hand.
Eggnog
in your hand. About to spill out
prawns,
the side of the chair.
Prawns on my chest.
Prawn shells on your chest. A little bit of dribble down the side of your mouth.
It's Marie Rose dressing.
Just pumping boffs out. Just pumping boffs out. The whole family are looking at you, and you're pumping boffs out in front of some kind of Gavin and Stacey vehicle, maybe.
I've recently started
Christmas hat askew at a jaunty angle.
I've recently started getting my daughter to do poos in the toilet, and she's
well done.
And so I'm
Big step.
she's she's doing bits and bobs. There's no guarantee that it'll last, but she's on the loo. Usually folded up in front of her because she insists that sit down, daddy. So I sit down, daddy, and because of like the cramped conditions in the downstairs bathroom, I'm just boffing off as well. So she's boffing off, I'm boffing off.
Pavlovian. As soon as you walk in that toilet, you are pumping away.
Boffing. So probably a bit of that, really. Yeah.
I think it's a traditional Christmas. If you don't mind me saying, it sounds like a very traditional
that's
Christmas.
Fine. Indeed.
All right, let's have a break. When we come back, maybe we'll do a little bit longer today because it's Christmas Day. But when we come back, we'll discuss some more of these types of antics, and I want to tell you a bit more about where I am recording right now on Christmas Day.
Okay, we're back with the Luke and Pete show. Over the Christmas, the preceding Christmas days towards Christmas, Luke, I decided to, instead of starting my New Year's resolution at 1st of January, I decided to start it early. And I have started trying to learn Adobe Premiere. that's what I'm treating myself to. I can sort of tit about with it, but I'm not.
Hang on.
What?
You carry yourself off as the tech guy at the company, mate. That's a big revelation.
No, I've never been an Adobe Premiere person. All the young people who work with us are very much Adobe Premiere heads. I am a Sony Vegas stan. Which
a lot of them even edit the audio in Premiere now, I think.
Yeah, true. But like Vegas is like
inside baseball. Sorry about that.
Vegas is like scrapbooking. Do you know what I mean? You just pull files in, bang, bang, cut. But Adobe is like a big, stupid Excel spreadsheet. Everything has to be just right. Everything has to be straightforward. You've got to have a vision of what you want. It's like asking me, Buddy Rich, to play an AC/DC. It's not right, and it shouldn't be.
I don't think you're Buddy Rich. I think you're Meg White.
All right.
And I like Meg White, by the way.
Is there a drummer who is chaotic and bad that is asked to play competently? That's the way. That's the way we need.
I'll tell you what you are. You are you're Keith Moon.
Right. Is he bad though? Is he?
Yeah. I think he's quite bad. I spent a lot of time. This is the worst boast ever. It's not even supposed to be a boast. It's just more of a factual thing. Really, it's quite depressing to say it. I spent a lot of my time with drummers.
Right.
Like 3 or 4 of my really good friends are drummers. Good drummers.
Yeah.
One of them's a session drummer. One of them's drummed for big artists.
Yeah.
We both know Woody, who's the drummer in Bastille as well. And I think the consensus generally is with drumming of that nature, there's sloppy good and there's sloppy bad.
Right.
And I think Keith Moon might be sloppy bad. Yeah.
But he made his drums explode, didn't he? Bang!
Oh, he gets credit for that. I mean, to be honest, I'm quite down on the Who generally, so he might not be the best person to ask.
I agree. I'm not a massive.
So are you the Keith Moon of Adobe Premiere?
I'm the Keith Moon of Stack. Unreliable.
I actually agree with that.
Unreliable. Will die in a hotel room.
Early death, probably. Yeah. I was speaking to my mum. This is one of the great things about being home for Christmas.
Yeah.
Is because Keith Moon actually died at 32. Just looking it up, I didn't know it was that young. Bloody hell. One of the good things about Christmas is chatting with my mum about kind of topics that you don't really get a chance to chat about because you normally just chat. You're doing something together, or she's looking after the boy, or you're chatting about.
It's not a WhatsApp conversation, is it?
No, yeah. And so we're talking about literally yesterday, we were talking about how many sort of people in the 70s died by getting really drunk and then just falling asleep with a cigarette in their hand.
Yes. Yeah. Okay,
She's like, yeah, so and so. She's just name dropping people in the town. Because I started talking about Steve Marriott of the Small Faces who did it.
Right.
Steve Marriott's story. Do you know Steve Marriott? He's
no.
Small Faces. He was out on the piss with a few of his pals. They did a recording session. He went home, and then I think I'm right in saying one of his friends went to go and pick him up in the morning,
right?
Or someone walked past his house in the morning, and it's just a blaze.
Right, and you're like, oh,
blaze.
Oh, is that?
Like, fucking hell, better call the fire brigade.
Right, yeah. I mean, like, you sort of, because Sarah was very well, and so I gave her a electric blanket and popped it on her, and she said, I fell asleep with the electric blanket on. I was like, it's a blanket, Sarah. You're supposed to fall asleep with it on. It's only a problem if it malfunctions and then sets fire to the house.
We were brought up to be terrified of electric blankets.
I know. I think they're safer nowadays.
Yeah, Steve Marriott. That's actually died in the early 90s. I thought it was way earlier than that.
Right. Okay.
But this it's quite a heady brew, isn't it? This idea of like everyone smokes.
Yep.
No one's got a smoke alarm in the house.
Yep.
Everyone's pissed all the time. So imagine like you basically you're drink driving home, 100%.
Yep.
You're getting back. You're lighting up a lovely tab.
Yep.
In a house which has probably got quite a lot of flammable materials in it because that's what it was like then as well.
Yeah. Wearing a shell suit.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Crazy. Anyway, on the recording front, I'm actually recording at my mate Carl's business today. So I needed somewhere to record. I'm back home. I've obviously got a 2-year-old at home. There's a load of cousins knocking about as well. So there's no way I could record at my mum and dad's house. And I messaged him saying, look, can I record at your house? It's probably a bit more tranquil. And he's quite a successful businessman, so he's got a nice house. And he was like, not really, but you can record in my office. I'm going to pop in. So do you want to come into the office and record? So I'm recording in his unit in an industrial estate. And his business called Iris, they make cameras for like big yachts.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
So like infrared stuff, CCTV stuff, and they make them in a very specialist way. So obviously they don't get condensation on them or they don't get water in them. And obviously salt water involved. Yeah, so
God,
it's absolutely your paradise. Their workshop downstairs is your paradise. It's like environmental chambers, little vacuum units. There's loads of stuff going on.
I guess nowadays making cameras that do that sort of thing are probably a little bit easier because everything's all, like a lot of the time, everything's all on one circuit board with a little sort of camera coming off it. And so I've just imagined there's a lot of gaskets lying around.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you're asking me. I'm literally just recording in their kitchen. I've just
little
walked
rubber
past
bands,
it.
little rubber.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah, I mean it's I mean I guess like fitting for boats and stuff. It's probably like fitting for like really really posh cars. There probably aren't that many made during the year, so it probably is quite a creative industry because you're kind of like, well, okay, this is here and this is here. How do we get behind this?
He does thousands of units a year.
Yeah. Amazing.
He as far as I can make out, because he seems to be in China quite a lot as well. He sells a lot of stuff to wealthy Americans.
Yeah.
With cameras that he and his company have assembled, made of bits from China.
Right.
But he's always going over there and checking the
checking the quality.
One of the
it's the man from Del Monte, but with cameras. With,
basically, yeah, I think so. He was saying to me, what's interesting is that when you scale up your business, so say you want to order 500 units of like quite specialist stuff from China, they supply it and everything like that. When you go ramp up to say 5,000 units, you've got to be right on it with the quality because they just whack them out.
Yeah.
So he was saying like sometimes you'll do something and you'll put it through testing the same way you normally do, but because you've ordered loads more, all of a sudden the quality's not as good. So you're like, shit, what's going on here? So you have to go over there and make sure they're doing it properly and all the rest of it. So it's
that is part of it, I suppose.
Big logistical part of the business. Like we don't have any of that. We just make audio programs.
Well, because I think if you are a company that don't do that, they sort of go, well, you know, we don't have to sort of be quite on it with this lot, so we can chuck in a couple of like dummy ones and.
What are you saying about our Chinese cousins, Peter?
I'm just saying that it's a hell of a lot of work to do, a lot of cameras to turn around, and the thing that kind of gets me is like it can be, if you don't test it as you're coming out, getting out of the company, you don't test it properly. Like you got to remember that like a lot of graphics processing units and processors and stuff, like sometimes they will work to a certain degree, but like 20% not as efficient. So like there'll be like a processor or a GPU that runs, but it won't run quite as well as the computer just figures out a way of dealing with having like 20% of its processing power sort of unavailable to it. And then that's how like certain dies get sort of separated into like B grade stock and C grade stock and stuff like that. So like you can buy quite powerful, so for example, there was a big sort of revolution this week in sort of video game or PC sort of Steam Deck sort of gaming because they found a load of these PS5 motherboards basically that were put into either mining servers or kind of like large language model sort of servers and stuff, and they were going cheap for like $100, but it's basically like a PS5 with maybe like 20% of the processing power like lopped off it, and so people were just putting them in boxes and just sort of going, I've got a really powerful gaming machine now because it's just like an all-in-one. But the idea that like a computer, I just always thought a computer either worked or it didn't work. But in reality, it can work when it's kind of half broken, which I find fascinating.
That's weird. So there's like redundancy in there, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it just sort of works out a way of sort of going, right, we've only got this amount of power, so let's figure out a way of getting this information.
And you must have tried to purchase a couple yourself, no?
I've got everything I need, Luke. I've got all of the processing power I need, for crying out loud. I got like I've got everything I need really. It's just in a really cold place right now because the cabin's freezing. So I need a way of transporting that power out.
Is it like being in the Upside Down?
It's like being in the Upside Down. I've never seen that.
I know
I've
you
never seen that TV show,
it.
But I'm going to support you. I'm not going to be.
Thanks, man. Be an ally. Be a stranger. I'm not a Stranger Things man myself, but I'm a Stranger Things ally.
I'm a Stranger Things ally. Exactly.
Oh, you're not tough on Stranger Things and tough on the causes of Stranger Things.
Exactly.
You are an ally. I do sometimes whenever I come down to the South Coast here where I am now, I often think to myself it's like the Upside Down because everywhere is at this time of year it's so fucking damp everywhere.
Right. Is the Upside Down damp? Is that what that all is?
I presume it is. It's cold and dark, and
right,
it seems like it would be. Like it seems to be snowing, this kind of ashy snow all the time, and it's never anything other than dark and sloppy and horrible.
Slushy.
But because I don't know if you find this about your daughter, but like when I take the boy down to the beach, it's like the Pebble Beach on the South Coast, he's like almost impervious to the cold. He doesn't care about the cold. He won't put a hat on. He hates wearing gloves. He just run around.
Yeah.
I find the damp cold getting in my bones very, very quick. And when you compare that to, say, New England, where I go with the Wi-Fi I have access to,
crisp.
That's colder on paper.
Yeah.
But it's nowhere. It doesn't feel anywhere near as cold.
Yeah. When I was in Cluj in Romania, it was -15, and I was like, obviously you can't stand outside for very long because it's fucking freezing, but I didn't mind it. It was like a lovely crisp kind of coldness that especially when it's like sunny and stuff. I do like that, but it's like we said at the start of the show, it's the slushy sogginess that when I'm pressure washing a set of patio furniture in the cold, I'm like, ugh, this is rubbish.
Nah. Why are you doing that?
Just because the garden's just a bit of a mess. You got to stay on top of it during the winter months, otherwise it just looks like an absolute. You just look at your window and go, ugh, disgusting.
One of the big psychological barriers for us on doing that is that we're on the first floor, so you've got to go downstairs to go in the garden.
Yeah, how are you running a pressure washer out of that?
Well, there's a tap outside the back, so we can. Yeah, and we've got an outdoor power point as well.
Have you really? That's very helpful. Yeah, well done you.
I've never said that's the most excited you've been in ages.
Speaking of gaskets, speaking of waterproof gaskets, for crying out loud.
Yeah, it's got a little cover on it, and you just make sure you close the cover. We've also got like lighting up and down the garden as well.
Nice.
Yeah,
big fan of that.
But the problem is, I think when you can just flip the back doors open and just walk out into the garden, it's great. But when you've got to go down some quite precarious steps and open another door, it's kind of the psychological barrier is quite big.
Yeah, hugely, completely agree.
Peter, we got to do a Christmas battery, mate.
Should we do a Christmas battery? Oh my God, have we found a Christmas battery?
I found one. It's in there for you, mate.
Lovely. All right, well, let's round off the Christmas show with a Christmas
I want to know what battery robot's doing on Christmas Day as well, by the way.
Actually.
Drinking, I'm drinking, battery robot is drinking.
Can we have a Christmas song, please, if you're drinking?
That was my drinking song. We're not very creative, we're robots.
It's like a sea shanty, but it's got no creativity because it's a robot.
Exactly. Just we're drinking. The battery robot is drinking.
This is a great example of how tedious I am, and you'll be pissed off when I say this.
Right.
I sometimes get served up videos on Instagram of like a bunch of men in some town somewhere.
Yeah.
Who've got like a little sea shanty group that they meet in the pub like once a week and they sing.
Yeah.
And everyone's a part of it. And I really want to do it.
Oh, mate, come down Leon Sea. There are sea shanty men every...
Would you not find that tedious, you? Find that's the kind of thing you're like fuming about. Right? You and people like Alistair Green would be raving about that, no?
Every month, the large men of Essex come down to Leon Sea in the old town, and they wear their little Breton stripes and their little sailor hats, and they sing sea shanties. Yeah, it happens almost every month. There'll be somebody singing a sea shanty down the coast.
When people criticise me for certain things, like it's on the nose, and I am the sort of person who thinks it will be good to do that, and I know most people think it's cringe as fuck,
right?
But I don't really care.
What do you mean? As in, like, what? When people criticise you, they sort of say,
"No, because like
Luke will be into."
If someone said, "Oh, do you know that Luke is in like a sea shanty group?" People would roll their eyes and be like, "Of course he fucking is. Look at the state of him. Of course he is. One, he thinks he's good. Two, he's got a mustache and he wears like cable knit. Of course he thinks that."
Right. Okay. Yeah. Nice. You need your own sort of silver tankard.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not really much of a drinker, so I know they'll let me in.
Yeah, but you need to. Well, you can just have a little cup of coffee and a cup of tea. You'll have one of your milky teas.
Grog.
You could probably pretend that was a stout. Grog.
It's rum or grog.
Have some grog. Yeah.
What is grog, by the way?
I don't know. It was grog was the drink of choice in the video game Monkey Island. I've never really.
Yeah, it was. I remember. Yeah.
I feel like it's.
Apparently, it's rum. It's watered down rum with lime juice and sugar.
I mean, isn't that just a fucking? It's a
Daiquiri.
cocktail, isn't it? How can you, I'm not having that. That's an absolute disgrace.
No,
from the
listen, think about that. Let me ask you a little trivia question about it.
Right.
And if you think about it, you should be able to answer this. Why are the British Royal Navy putting lime juice in their rum?
What do you mean? Why are they?
That's where it comes from. They're putting lime juice and watering down the rum for obvious reasons.
The old vitamin C. The old
because of scurvy, right?
See off the scurvy. Yeah,
it makes sense.
Well,
anyway. Battery.
Let's do a battery for crying out loud. Andrew has got in touch. Festive loveliness to you, Andrew. Hi, chaps. While changing the battery on a talking capybara toy, as you do, I discovered this pair of XZ Energy Super Heavy Duty. Hopefully, they will be a brand new offering for the battery robot.
I'm drinking.
And a long-awaited hat trick of entries for myself. Andy, are you going to delight the drunk... The drinking and drunk battery robot or are you going to upset him? Is the question.
What's the drink of choice for battery robot?
I think it's like it's like grog. It's like robot grog.
Castrol
GTX. The sort of like the rubber, the rubber sort of sealant from a car window. Bit of that in the bottom.
Oh,
as
chuck
well,
in
just
there,
to
like it's like an ice
thicken it up
cube
a bit.
kind of thing.
Yeah, a little thicken it up, a little thickener.
Yeah, that's nice. All right, so Andrew's on a hat trick. Imagine a hat trick of battery entries on Christmas Day. That would be incredible. XZ Energy, or as our American cousins would call it, no doubt, XZ Energy.
XZ Energy.
But we'll stick with XZ Energy for now.
It's a triple A.
It's AAA, nice to see. Not much in the photo, really, just pretty standard. Quite a nice colour, quite a Christmassy colour scheme, which is why I chose it.
Yes, no, I completely agree. Nice foam
Green,
maker
red, and
underneath
gold
as well. Yep.
Yeah. Andrew, you are, I'm afraid, the 6th person to send in XZ Energy. Some Christmas shout-outs for James Cunningham, Sean Taylor, Alan Marples, Jamie Sykes, one or two others who sent that in already. Andrew, you sent this one in just before Christmas. You're the 6th person to do so. So it's a relatively rare battery, but it's not a new snack for the battery robot, I'm afraid.
Oh, well, look. That's what Christmas is all about. It's about disappointment. It's about disappointment. True. That's absolutely fine. Where's Dad gone? He's gone to the pub. He's not coming back. Right, we'll be back when will we be back? What day will
Monday.
that be? That will be Monday the 29th. So you have a lovely rest of your Christmas. If you observe, enjoy Boxing Day. If you enjoy the 27th and the 28th, well, that's up to you. That's your business.
Imagine not observing Boxing Day. I mean, that's a free fucking day.
What, it's a free hit?
It's a free day off.
Well, no, but you just go, but then there's the stress of having to go to the sales and stuff. Do people still got the sales on the 26th?
Probably. It's all online now, isn't it, really?
It's all online now, crying out loud.
Yeah, I think they would do.
Yeah.
I love watching the BBC archive footage of people busting their balls to get into a big department shop on first thing on Boxing Day. Like, even when it was a thing, my family would never do that. I mean, fucking hell.
No, they're like, what are you fucking doing?
Yeah.
Navy Club, please, on Murray Street. All right, then, we'll be back then, and look after yourselves, and a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you guys. We'll probably get Charlie to put the jingle bells on the theme tune. And I've said this right at the end, so he won't realise until he has to go back and do it. Which would be disappointing for him.
Epidemic sound, jingle. Have I got any jingles here? No, I haven't, no.
Do you know what? If I had developed...
Kind of like a jingle bell, isn't it, really?
More like an alarm, isn't it?
More like an alarm, yeah.
More like a carbon monoxide alarm for the spirit of Christmas. Carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah.